How was your dinner last night? Well, you met the president.
Yeah, I met the president last night. It was really nice, very nice.
How did you know and when that you wanted to be an actor, that you were going to be good at it?
My mother always believed I was going to be an actor.
Really?
Yeah, she says I came out, you know.
Where's Al Pacino?
Oh, I don't think he knows where he is. I lost my hair.
I love you so much.
I've always done impressions, you know, because I could make my mother laugh.
Wow.
And that was the greatest sound I ever heard.
How can it be so seductive?
I think it says more about you than it does about me, doesn't
really?
it? Yeah.
What do your friends politicians tell you about House of Cards?
I love that House of Cards.
That's Bill Clinton.
It's so good.
But would you imagine Obama being like Frank Underwood? How do you like Obama? Do you believe in God?
I believe in God, but not a funny little man with a beard.
Déjeme preguntar, mami. Don't say. No.
¿El que te viste o el que te desviste?
Es muy sensual, ¿no? Claro. Is it the time to say goodbye?
No, we have 10 more.
Ya, carnal. Tienes enojo, tienes rabia, tienes coraje. Mataste a tu hija. Yo te decía que me dieras un beso y no quería.
Sí, porque...
Quítate la camisa, Joaquín. Muchas gracias, caramba. ¿Qué tal, Do you laugh at yourself?
Do I?
Are you shy, Sofía?
How shy I am.
Para conquistar a tantas mujeres en tu vida, ¿qué hacías?
Los expresidentes son como los jarritos chinos. Están muy bonitos, pero ¿qué hago con ellos?
Oye, que tiene razón.
¿Tienes algo? Esas son viejas, caramba.
So help me God. So help me God. One heartbeat away from the presidency, not a single vote cast in my name. Democracy is so overrated. Welcome back.
Goldstein, no? Goldstein.
Yeah.
Jewish?
Probably.
Yeah.
Or a Cuban Jew, so a Juban.
A Juban. How was your dinner last night? Well, you met the president.
Yeah, I met the president last night. It was really nice, very nice. Good, very, very solid man. Good conversation.
You liked him?
Liked him very much. And it's nice to meet a president who was in his first year, who was trying to make as many changes and be as progressive as he is.
He's been doing a lot, yeah.
Yeah. Which
And
means
Congress
he's probably
here
both
is
popular
working.
and unpopular at the same
yeah,
time.
I know.
Right?
Yeah. How is it? Why are you in the tianguis turístico?
Robert Earl, who has been a great supporter of mine at the Old Vic in London, where I run a theater, has been there for me countless times. Believed in what I was trying to set out to do 11 years ago when I moved to London to start a theater. He's done a couple of fundraisers for me. And when Robert Earl says, will you come and talk about Mexico, because we want to try to get people to understand now it's a fantastic place to be, to visit, to make movies here. You know, some of the great movies I've shot in Mexico.
Yeah.
And we want to try to ignite and sort of get away from the cliche that Hollywood always makes movies that are only about this certain subject, or Mexicans are always portrayed in a certain way.
Mexico, yeah.
You know what I mean? And so I think it's a very positive thing to be able to come and talk about Mexico and the fact that it's, you know, such an important place in Latin America, such an important place in terms of tourism. They've had more tourists this year than last year, and of course, you know, we are brothers next to each other. So
May I please?
you may.
Yes.
And then don't ever fucking touch me again. I'm kidding, I'm just kidding.
And you studied about Mexico? I mean, are you aware of everything what's going on in Mexico has been going on for the last year?
All night, baby, all night.
Yeah. You did your homework.
That's right.
Okay.
Me too.
Thank you.
It's done. It's finito. I did it. I tucked it in. Oh, I see.
How does
See,
it
some of the
feel?
best technicians in the world, right here in Mexico.
Of course. Of course. Only the technicians.
technicians, Adela?
Well, I'm talking about myself. I'm not that good.
How long have you been doing this?
25 years.
25 years.
Yeah.
Well, you know what they say.
What?
If you do it long enough, you just might get good at it.
Of course.
That's what they
yeah,
say.
that's what they say.
That's what I'm hoping.
How long have you been doing?
Acting?
Have you been acting?
Since I was 11.
Really?
Yeah. I was in drama in junior high school, and then drama in high school, and then I went to Juilliard and studied, and
Yeah, I
then
know
I
you were
started
in
my career.
Juilliard, yeah.
So yeah, since I was
How
11.
did it all start? How did you know and when that you wanted to be an actor, that you were going to be good at it?
My mother always believed I was going to be an actor.
Really?
Yeah, she says I came out, you know. But I think a lot of it had to do with the fact that my mother didn't have it easy and was really the breadwinner in our house. And I discovered very early on that I could make my mother laugh when I did voices and impressions. And so I would learn how to do Humphrey Bogart and Cary Grant just to make my mother laugh.
That's so nice.
Let's dance.
I like that story very much. You were very close to your mother, no?
Yeah, she was great. She's always with me.
Is she?
Yeah, because she was fantastic at being able to bounce ideas off and decisions off. And there are many times now when I'm faced with a choice, and I always say, what would my mother have thought? What would she have thought? How would she have looked at this? What would she have advised?
Okay.
I miss my mother very much. We were very close and I miss her. And I always ask myself, is she here with me or no?
Oh, I think, yeah. It's true. There's some people that their presence, you know, the physical presence isn't there, but the spirit.
Yeah, it's always there.
Is always there.
Absence that are very present, no?
Should we do this interview before we're both too old for it?
Estamos listos. Silencio, por favor, vamos a grabar. En 4, 3, 2.
Thank you so much. Lord Kevin Spacey. Are you a lord? Is it
No,
true,
I'm actually
or-
not a lord. I am called a commander of the British Empire. It's called a CBE.
Okay.
Because you can't be made a sir unless you actually are born in Great Britain. So it's as
okay.
close to being a sir as you can get, but I actually think it's a better title.
Is
So
it?
my friends
yeah,
call
because
me.
you're not born
My
there.
friends call me Commander K.
Yeah, it's great.
I like it.
You like it? How was it? Why?
Well, it was pretty incredible. The Queen makes these decisions. It was because of recognizing me for the work that I've done in Great Britain over the last 11 years.
You've been living there for the last 11 years.
I have. I'm the artistic director of a theater there called the Old Vic, which has been standing since 1818.
Wow.
And is one of the most beautiful, extraordinary theaters, I think, in the world. And so she made the decision to give it to me, and apparently normally they just announce it. But because I have been an ambassador for Prince Charles's foundation, the Prince's Trust, he heard and said, no, I want to give it to him. So we went to Clarence House with family and friends, and he gave me the CBE himself, which was incredibly kind.
Wow. But you're about to finish, no?
I'm starting my 11th and final season in September, and so I will be departing my role in August of 2015. And the thing I'm happiest about is that it's going to continue long after I'm gone.
Wow, yeah. And you're going to move, to the States? Where do you live?
I'm going to move here. What are you talking about?
Yeah,
this
it's
is
beautiful,
awesome
right?
here.
It's your first time in Cancun.
It's my first time in Cancun. Not my first time in Mexico, but my first time in Cancun, and it's just been extraordinary. Last night's beautiful hotel that we discovered. What's the name of that hotel again?
Nisuk. I'm staying there. Yeah,
Wonderful.
It's beautiful.
I met the architect last night.
Yeah, you did?
Very, very talented. But I think I'll probably always be of both worlds. I think that I have become such a sort of Anglophile, an honorary Brit. I enjoy it there as much as I enjoy being in the United States, and I've now had a chance to be back in the United States, really for the first time, for an extended period of time, because I'm shooting House of Cards in Baltimore, Maryland, and so I've been there for like 6 months at a time, and it's been it's been very nice being back in the United States and sort of getting a bead on how things are. From the perspective of living in the United States again, rather than just seeing it from a distance.
Will you live again in LA, for example, or no?
I love to go to Los Angeles and accomplish work, and then get out.
Go back, yeah. What about New York?
Well, I lived in New York from the time I was 19 until I moved to London. I've only really been in Los Angeles for making films, but I really do. I love New York. I miss it when I'm. We're trying to talk over here. This guy just talking on his phone. Anyway, I can't call you back in an hour because. Anyway, I think I scared him off.
Where's Al Pacino?
Oh, I don't think he knows where he is. I lost my hair.
I love you so much.
Did you see when I surprised him on the David Letterman show?
Of course I did. I loved it.
He had no idea I was coming. And
really? He had no idea?
He had no idea, yeah, because Letterman tapes 2 shows on Thursdays, so he doesn't have to work on Friday. And I was taping the second show, and Pacino was taping the first show. So they asked me if I would get there early and surprise Al, and I did. He loved it, though.
What did he say?
He loves it when I do it.
So you were funny?
Oh, I don't think his impression's good. No, I don't like it. Some people do, but I don't get it.
And so then I walked out and did my impression. I think he likes it now.
You started doing that, no? You do a lot of impressions.
I've always done impressions. You know, I think when I was really young, my mother and I were, she introduced me to great movies and theater and great books, and so I used to watch movies with her all the time, and there were certain movie stars that she was particularly enamored with. So I learned very early on how to do a Cary Grant impression or Humphrey Bogart impression or Jimmy Stewart impression, because I could make my mother laugh.
Wow.
And that was the greatest sound I ever heard. My mother didn't have it easy. She was the breadwinner in our house and worked her whole life as well as raising children. And so I always loved making my mom laugh.
It's 3 of you, no? You have a brother and a sister.
Yeah.
Wow. And then it all started. You were a stand-up comedian as well.
I started doing stand-up, but I mostly did impressions because I loved doing them. So I would place famous people in odd situations. You know, Jimmy Stewart in the laundromat, or you know, who else did I do? I did Cary Grant. You know,
so you're
selling pants or something. You know.
You're a great observer. You have to be a very good observer.
I think part of it also is that I just have a good ear. It's the way it sounds to me that allows me to hear it. So if I'm able to listen to something for a long period of time or be around somebody, because like when I did a film with Clint Eastwood, it was easy, like after the first week, to be able to go, all right, let's roll the cameras. You know, because Clint has this very
soothing. Now, Mr. President, how do you explain the House of Cards phenomena? I mean,
you know, it's an interesting thing. There's both the paradigm which has been changed because of the way in which the series is being released, but that has nothing to do with what we do creatively.
Of course, yeah.
But I think maybe to some degree there's been a long series of very, very complicated, interesting anti-heroes that have emerged in the last 15 years on television. And so I think we have to pay homage to James Gandolfini or Bryan Cranston or Michael C. Hall, actors that have played really incredibly complicated characters that audiences have sort of loved and love to hate. And so I think that Francis came along at sort of a perfect moment in which audiences were quite primed for characters that they like to both root for, but also are a little afraid of.
How can it be so seductive? I mean, Frank, he's sort of evil, no?
I think it says more about you than it does about me.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
But and he's so seductive, so charming, so, no?
I think maybe it has to do, maybe to some degree, with the fact that maybe no matter where you're from, it's always difficult to get things done in politics. You know, so maybe perhaps people have really enjoyed seeing somebody who, yes, a bit Machiavellian, yes, crossing the line, but gets stuff done. You know, is an effective politician.
Well, and Congress in House of Cards is very effective as well, no?
Yeah.
I mean...
Yeah. It must be fictional, right?
Of course, that must be fictional. How much of yourself does Frank has, or nothing?
Really not, you know, I mean, I've been ambitious in my life and I know what that's about. I've been involved in politics in my life, I know what that's about. I've been around politics for a long time, and I've known many politicians. But this really, for people that don't know, that Frances Underwood is actually based on Richard III. That when Michael Dobbs wrote the original book and they did the original series, she was based on Lady Macbeth, you know, the remarkable Robin Wright who plays Claire. And he was based on Richard III. And it just so happened that I had just played Richard III in a production of that play that toured the world. And just before we started shooting the first season, I had just done this remarkable experience of playing this character that Frances is based on. So it's not that I've brought either myself or, I'm doing a sort of an imitation of a particular politician. It was so well written. It was so, and it's Shakespearean in its tone and its sort of epic scope, that I've really just trusted the writing. We have a remarkable head writer named Bo Williman, who's a playwright, a great team of writers. And it's been incredible to create a character that there's a lot about him I don't know. There's a lot about him that I'm learning.
Does he surprise you?
Constantly.
I mean,
Yeah. It's great fun to go to work and, you know, read a scene or a script that comes in that's new and discover something I didn't know. And, how am I going to play that? That reveals this. And of course, there'll probably be other things that we'll choose not to reveal in the course of the series, where we'll hold back.
Has he made you angry, for example? Or?
No, here's what I have always vowed.
I love his dark side. I mean, his dark side is...
I have always vowed that I never judge the characters I play.
Yeah, great.
I have to just play them, let the chips fall where they may, and let others be the judges.
What do your friends politicians tell you about House of Cards? I mean,
I love that House of Cards.
That's Bill Clinton.
It's so good. I can't watch that without Hillary. She won't let me watch it. I gotta wait for Hillary. We watch it together.
I love you. I really do.
Politicians have been very interesting. I've met a number of them. A number of them were actually very helpful to me in building the character. People Kevin McCarthy, who's the actual majority whip in the House, was very helpful in helping me understand the mechanics of what it is to whip 218 congressmen to try to vote the way you want them to vote. Steny Hoyer, who's the minority whip, the Democrat. Nancy Pelosi, all kinds of politicians I have met and spent time with, and they all seem to embrace the show, even though some of them will say, well, it's not like this in real life. Although Kevin McCarthy did say something publicly that he'd said to me privately that I thought he would never say publicly. He was like, if I could just kill one member of Congress, I wouldn't have to worry about another vote. He said it publicly, and then the next day apparently 9 congressmen called him and said, would it be me? Would I be the one you'd...
Wow. Yeah. But would you imagine Obama being like Frank Underwood, for example?
Well, all I know is that apparently President Obama likes the series, watches the series, and has said that he wishes Washington were as pragmatically efficient and productive as it is on House of Cards.
How do you like Obama?
Yeah.
President Obama?
Yeah.
He's had it difficult, you think? I mean,
well, I think that, when the opposing party makes a unilateral decision to fight him on every single issue and try to stop every single thing he tries to accomplish, it's very difficult to govern.
Let me ask you, the content of House of Cards, would it be possible in a TV network? I mean,
no. No, I mean, certainly not the 3 networks, because we say too many naughty words and we have too many sexual things going on. So yeah, you probably couldn't work in that context. But also, I do have to say that I think we can look back at politicians who had reputations that were Machiavellian, difficult, arm twisters. Lyndon Johnson is a figure that many people said he was just a, can I say bastard?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, that he was a bastard. That he'd get in your face and he'd force people to change their ideas and get them to think the way he wanted them to think. And so while that reputation was maybe a difficult one or a complicated one, you also have to say he passed 3 civil rights bills in a very short presidency. He was a very effective politician.
So no one is either too good or too bad, no? I mean,
we're human beings, you know?
Human beings.
You hope at the end, when it's all judged, there'll be more good than bad.
You believe in God?
I believe in God, but not a funny little man with a beard.
No.
I believe she's very powerful.
I love you.
Yeah.
I love you.
You're a feminist. I adore you. So how have you managed to go across all platforms? I mean, theater, film, no? Now Netflix.
It's incredibly exciting. I mean, you know, I guess to some degree, maybe the Netflix model has proved something, which is that audiences don't care about the platform. They care about content. And they will go where the content is. And as more and more people begin to self-produce, self-distribute, put their material out there, whether they're emerging talents. I mean, you know about this kid, Louis Cruikshank?
No.
Louis Cruikshank is this kid, teenager, who about 6 years ago made a little webisode about a hyperactive kid, and people liked it. So he made another one, and people liked that, and he made another one. Now, this April, his series has been viewed by 1 billion people.
Wow.
So in some ways, because of the internet, because it has democratized so much of people's ability to get seen, there is no more barrier to the industries anymore in terms of film, television, theater. We have to, on our side of it, those that have built up walls so successfully, you can't get into the business unless you have an agent. You can't get into the business unless you're in LA or New York. You can't get into the business because we don't believe in anybody until somebody else believes in you first, and then we want to steal you. We can't be lazy. We have to go out and seek the new talent, seek the trailblazers, seek the emerging talents, because they will be our future. And unless the networks and the studios make it very accommodating and welcoming and fertile landscape, they will continue to self-produce and self-distribute and cut everybody out.
You think TV networks could disappear?
I just think that you know, maybe the days of appointment viewing, I don't think people care anymore that it's Tuesday at 8 o'clock.
Oh, yeah, no,
they want to watch it in their own time.
Yeah.
They like being in control.
But so, if it doesn't matter about the platform, like Netflix, for example, you couldn't be doing what you're doing on ABC, CBS, or NBC.
You couldn't be doing it there, but we could have been doing it on any other broadcast network. But Netflix was the only network that didn't want us and insist that we do a pilot. They gave us an order of 26 episodes, 2 seasons, without having to audition. And we were like, yeah, we're going to go with them. They believed in it. They believed in me. They believed in Fincher.
It was very risky for you, no?
It was riskier for them than for me.
Yeah.
By the time we went out and pitched it, I knew David Fincher was going to direct it. We'd written 2 scripts by Beau Willimon. We knew Robin Wright was going to play Claire. Creatively, we felt very solid. And it's an example of networks trust the creators, trust the creatives. Because if you look at the last 15 years of remarkable programming, it's because of the creators, and frankly, some pretty ballsy decisions by network executives, certainly at HBO, who really paved the way.
Now, how does a twice-winner, Oscar-winner actor goes and acts on Netflix and says, okay, let's do it. And now on a video game, no?
Yes. Yes.
Why? I mean,
why not?
I don't know.
Because
you
I'm not a
people
snob.
are very snob.
No, I'm not a snob.
You're
not?
not?
If you go back and look at the history of, for example, British actors, they've never had snobbery about it. You can see British actors on television, on the theater, in cinema. I mean, to me, it's exciting to be a part of something brand new and different. And if I do something and someone else goes, oh, well, if he's doing it, maybe I can do it. What a great thing for the industry, because it means more shows will be produced, more actors will be hired, more writers will be hired, more directors will be hired, and that's just good for our economy.
What did your agent say when you agreed to do Netflix, House of Cards?
They thought it was the future.
Really?
Yeah, I've got good people surrounding me. It's been very rare that I've had people who are like, on my team, who are you're out of your mind. Usually people calling me out of my mind are on the outside of my team.
Yeah, okay.
And I'm glad on occasion that we can prove them wrong.
Do you have good friends, actors?
Some actors, not all. Most of my friends are not actors.
Yeah,
that I've known for a very, very long time. But I still have my friends from high school to this day. And that's important to me because they're the ones that have known me since I was 15. And they're the ones that keep you from becoming a jerk. You know, they can call you out.
You're not a jerk.
Try very hard not to be. I can have bad days.
Yeah, well,
and if
we
someone
all
is
do.
and if someone is rude, I will let them know they're rude.
Okay.
You know.
But you like people around?
I love people.
You don't like giving interviews, that I know. So I really appreciate this.
No, I mean, interviews are fine. I mean, look, if my preference would be do the work and go home. Let the work speak for itself. But that's not the world we live in. So I do it to the point where I can live with myself. I can still look at myself in the mirror.
In the mirror.
Yeah.
What do you think when you look yourself in the? You like what you see? I mean, you feel comfortable with yourself?
I've gotten fairly used to it. It's not as painful as it used to be.
It was painful.
Oh, God. I mean, do you like listening to your own voice or watching
I hate
yourself?
Myself.
Well, see,
I really hate myself.
I'm no different than anybody else.
Up to this point,
I always find it
still
interesting
hate
when people
myself.
hear their own voice for the first time and they've never heard their voices and how they go, that's not me. It's a little bit like that. You say. So what I finally was able to do in terms of watching myself on film is that I'm not looking for myself. I'm looking for the character. Did the character come through? And when people refer to the characters I play as three-dimensional people, they talk about them, I feel like I've done my job.
Great. Now, you are a theater person, no? A theater actor.
Theater rat, yeah.
Yeah, theater rat. I mean, because that's where you really act, no? I mean...
Yeah, I suppose, you know...
And you always have a chance to...
Be better.
To be better.
Yeah, for people who... I mean, look, you can go back at the history of movies. And you can understand to some degree why certain actors had very, very long, diverse, and extraordinary careers. And you can say Henry Fonda, Humphrey Bogart, Cary Grant, Jimmy Stewart, Katharine Hepburn, Bette Davis, Al Pacino, Jack Lemmon. Why? Every single one of those actors learned their craft in the theater. And every single one of those actors came back to the theater. And the theater is our medium. Film and television is the director's medium. So it's very artificial. But theater is very
It's yourself.
organic.
I mean, it's you.
Yeah.
And
You're in
acting.
charge. Yeah.
Do you like to be directed? I mean...
I love being directed. I'm a better actor when I'm directed than when I'm left alone. Yeah.
Don't directors feel intimidated by you?
If they do, I have to try to help them get over that very quickly.
How do you do that? Help me here.
Well, you've been doing fine.
Oh, thank you.
I don't think you need any help. I might need some help.
Is the bar open?
Hi. What do you drink?
Jack Daniels.
Jack Daniels.
Yeah. It's the nectar of the gods,
Que
baby.
nos den.
Yeah. That's Sinatra
No
used to say.
No
Yeah, sure,
you like
tequila. Late enough tequila, not early. Don't start with tequila.
Just one.
Maybe end with tequila.
Okay. So, what do you do so they feel comfortable directing you? I mean, you're too good.
In any situation where you may know someone and therefore you may think you know them, it takes a while to get people a little bit more comfortable, and it may take a day or two or three. But I think when you show up to work every day and you're engaged and you're interested and you're not disinterested or disrespecting someone, then eventually they realize, oh, this is cool, and I can actually say things. And you know, if someone is very intimidated, it just takes a little while.
And of course, you believe in teamwork.
Collaboration is the only way that you can achieve anything, is to collaborate.
Who would you like to work with, director?
So many.
That you haven't.
Martin Scorsese, Woody Allen, so many. I'd love to work with Sean Penn. Sean Penn's a great director, and I've known him for a very long time. He's obviously one of our great actors. I'd like to work with Ed Norton as an actor. I think he's great. I have worked with Cate Blanchett, but I'd love to do theater with Cate Blanchett.
Wow.
There are many
They know
directors.
that you want to?
Listen, I write letters to people.
You do?
Yeah. People I want to work with, I will write and introduce myself to them if I think perhaps they don't know my work.
You did already with Scorsese and...
I wrote Woody Allen last year.
Woody Allen?
And he wrote me back.
What he said?
I introduced myself because I wasn't sure if he knew my work.
Come on.
And I sent him a Netflix subscription, and he was very grateful for that. And now he's thinking of me for movies, so that was a good choice.
Wow. Now, doing theater keeps you apart from doing movies, no? Do you regret not doing or saying or rejecting any film because you were in London?
No, I can tell you this, that I made the decision 11 years ago to move to London. I made a priority of the theater, meaning that I would not do a movie if it took me away for more than 8 weeks.
Okay.
But frankly, It's just not an insult to anybody who made a really good film in the last 10 years, but I couldn't have picked a better decade.
Wow.
I don't think I've missed that much.
And you've been touring, no, with Richard III?
I toured the world with Richard III. 12 cities, yeah, across the world.
All the continents?
Yeah.
Wow. How was it?
Amazing. I mean, to do a play that's 450 years old and make it feel immediate and present and now, in Beijing, in Singapore, in Naples, Italy, it was an incredible experience.
You adapt anything to any country or no?
No, Sam
Not to
Mendes did the
country.
adaptation of the play, but we would have subtitles if it was a non-English speaking country or English wasn't their first language.
Like opera.
And it actually was a great lesson for me when we were in Spain. Normally the titles were above us, so we did not see them. But in Spain they were in the boxes, so we could see them. And it was a good lesson in don't look at the subtitles when you're on stage. Because an actor had a line, "Yes, my lord," and I looked over and it said, "Si, senor," and I went, "No, don't."
You're kidding, right?
No.
You're not kidding?
No. It's hilarious.
Tell me, with the video game thing, you sort of break the fourth wall, this famous, but
Not in the video, no.
no?
No.
Because it's very interactive, no?
Yeah, well, the game won't come out until November, so there's a lot. But I don't break the fourth wall. It's not like House of Cards in that way.
Okay.
He's talking to a team in front of him.
But House of Cards, you do break the fourth wall.
Which Shakespeare invented.
Oh, that invented Shakespeare?
Direct address was invented by William Shakespeare in Richard III.
And you start doing it in theater? Or you start...
In Richard III you do it.
You do it.
Yeah, that's where it started.
Because
Ferris Bueller did not invent direct address.
And I love that in House of Cards, no? It's great.
Yeah, it makes you the co-conspirators.
It made you easier to address to the audience in the camera because of Richard III? Or
It helped me a lot because now I'm just looking down a camera lens as opposed to in the theater I was able to look directly into people's eyes. And that was an incredible lesson.
Suppose I'm the camera. Talk to me. No?
Can we get some wine? And,
Make up your mind. Wine, tequila, mezcal, Jack Daniel.
Well, I'm in Cancun. It seems to me we can do anything.
Anything, baby, anything. So is House of Cards realpolitik? Do you think that's realpolitik?
I think that there are some people who clearly must be fascinated by the show because it's an effective politician getting things done. Obviously, he crosses the line in many ways.
He's pragmatic.
But I've heard from people the mechanics of politics and how Washington works. Yeah, we're very close.
It's pretty much like that.
We work very hard on making sure that that we're accurate about how things happen in terms of the mechanics of it. The plot stuff as well. Obviously, we're taking dramatic license.
The hallways of power, no? I mean, it's...
Indeed.
Indeed, amazing. So is there room for politics, for moral and for principles and integrity? I mean, you can actually be and keep your principles and your integrity and be in politics?
We have fantastic examples.
You do?
Of great politicians throughout the history of our country and the history of this country, of people who were able to affect change, believed in what they did, believed in the remarkable importance of public service. And you know, you can go back to Ted Kennedy or Robert Kennedy or Patrick Moynihan. So it seems to me, yes, of course, the answer to that question is yes. Yes.
Would you be a candidate for something? Will you run for something?
No.
Are you interested in public service?
No. I think that, I like to get things done, so I would be incredibly frustrated by that process. But I also think that one can do things and say things artistically and culturally that you can't politically. And if I can be effective, I'll be effective that way.
Well, you are very outspoken of your beliefs, no? And your point of view of many things. Do you think it's important for a figure, for a public persona to outspoke for the rest of the people, or no?
Hang on, we have phones going off.
Whose phone is it?
Is that all? Okay.
Bravo, bravo.
One more time, sorry.
You're very outspoken. So my question is, do you think it's important that public personas should be listened? And
no, I think sometimes actors should shut the fuck up.
Okay.
I don't give a fuck what an actor thinks about a certain position. But I will say this, they have every right to say whatever they want to say.
But how come are people very interested in what you have to say?
I think
about
that, look, I think that
everything?
the problem is that sometimes what ends up happening is that actors that become well known, who are very young, get asked all these questions and they choose to answer them. And maybe they should just go, I don't really know anything about that, and I'll just
What
shut
about
up.
you? You answer?
I don't answer every question I'm ever asked, no. I'm very happy to tell people to go fuck off.
Really?
Yeah.
You enjoy that?
Yeah.
That moment?
It's a good moment.
Right. Tell me, how have you managed to keep your personal life on the private arena? It's not easy. It's not
very
easy in Hollywood.
It's very
not
easy.
How?
Consistency. Just be consistent.
If you asked about something, you say, no, I won't answer. Get the fuck off.
Yeah, exactly. Get the fuck off. You're being attacked by birds.
But does it bother you to be asked and questioned and rumors and everything?
It's been this way for 150 years.
Yeah,
you know?
I know. And people should be interested in the work.
People are. Media is interested in something else. Most people just care about the work.
Now, what do you feel about being Mr. President? About how powerful you are?
Well, it's just a character, you know.
I know,
playing a role.
but I mean,
It's not real.
but I mean, what would you go money over power or power over money, for example?
It's a silly question for me to. You're asking me to compare.
Yeah, because you have the money and you don't have the power.
A character's philosophy with my philosophy, and they're completely opposite. I can play people whose philosophies I absolutely don't believe in at all.
Even you despite.
But my joy is being able to convince you that the character believes them.
Yeah, we
That's
are
what's
all
fun.
convinced.
Yeah.
All convinced. What do you think of the relationship between Frank and Claire? It's
incredible.
love, it's complicity. What is it? A
It's
little bit of
relationship.
everything.
You know, I think anybody who ever looks at a relationship and tries to figure it out, you're going to fail because you're not in it. The only two people who know what that relationship is like and who require to understand it are those two.
Let me ask Frank Underwood. So
no, I don't speak as Frank Underwood. I don't write that stuff. Someone else writes it. Thank goodness. I don't speak.
Thank
Frank.
goodness. But I love that relationship. It's love.
Yeah, she's amazing.
She's
one of the.
amazing.
I've known her for a long, long time. We did one movie together many years ago called Hurly Burly. We didn't have that many scenes together, but she is incredible to work with, and she has done so much with a role in which not a lot is said. She's a very contained character, and yet
yeah, she's
I think some people think she's scarier than Frances.
Yeah,
you know?
I'm one of those. Because she's a woman.
Yeah.
No?
Yeah.
Of course. So you're staying here in Cancun until when? And
just today. I came in last night. I want to be able to come back when I just have my own time to enjoy it. But I wanted to be able to come to talk about why Mexico is an important place for people around the world, particularly us in the United States. Tourism is up. And there's a lot of myths and I think cliches that get sort of spread around. And people don't quite understand that Cancun has been a remarkable place and is continuing to grow. Huge, obviously, great vacation spot, Puerto Vallarta. It's one of the most important places in Latin America. And I hope more films come here. Some of the great films of all time have shot here. And I hope that continues to happen. Music videos shoot here. They've got, incredible young workforce here. I think the medium age here is about 27. It's much older in other countries.
Let's not talk about that. Please.
Yes, but see, it's important that the 27-year-olds learn from the experience.
Of course. You encourage young people also, no? Actors, and how do you do that? And how do you discover talent? Because I think that's very important. And do you give opportunities to young people?
Yeah, you have to be willing to pay attention. You have to be willing to look at where someone is, but also imagine where they could be in 5 or 10 years if they're nurtured and encouraged and supported. And so I've done work through the Old Vic with Old Vic New Voices, which is all about our program for helping emerging artists. I do work through my foundation, which is all about using education as a tool.
Artistic education or
we use the tools and the artists of theater as an educational tool. And I have the most remarkable times in workshops where I'm able to see some young person who reminds me of myself when I was young and someone believed in me. And I'm now in a position to be able to say something to that person that will be encouraging. Because sometimes in life, and we've all had these people in our lives, a teacher, a parent, a friend, an adult, can say just the right words at just the right moment, and it can be life-changing.
Who was that first person for you?
Jack Lemmon.
He was your mentor.
Who shot the movie Missing here in Mexico, one of his great performances, the Costa Gavras film. And I met him when I was 13 years old at a workshop, and he put his hand on my shoulder and said that he thought I was a born actor and that I should go to New York and study and that this is what I should do for a career. And then I later on ended up working with him 4 times.
Wow,
and,
what an experience.
He was my father figure, my mentor, and the classiest guy, the greatest lesson in how to handle success that I could have hoped to have had.
Well, Hillary Clinton, you think, would be a good Madam President?
I'd love that idea.
We'll see what she's going to do. We don't know yet, but we'll see.
But you'll support her.
Sure, of course.
You're very close to the Clintons, no?
Yes.
Very, very close. Very good friends.
Yes.
And what would Bill Clinton feel to be back to the White House as the first husband of the White House?
Well, I think it would be a remarkable thing. You know, he is so proven in the years since he was president. He has literally changed lives around the world through his foundation, the work that they have done. I toured with him to Africa in 2002, and it was just an extraordinary opportunity to see the impact he has, the way in which people around the world view him. And I think he's done extraordinary work and gotten so many countries and individuals and corporations involved in lots and lots of plans and schemes where, you know, frankly, sometimes the American government has not stepped up. The Clinton Foundation has.
Yeah, he's accomplished a lot out of office. Yeah. So thank you very much.
Thank
Enjoy
you.
your
It's a delight.
stay. Thank you. How was your encounter with President Peña yesterday?
I very much enjoyed meeting the president. It was an opportunity for 2 presidents to come together and speak privately. We're both in our first terms in office, our first year. But it's nice to see someone who is as progressive and is interested in making change as he is. And so it was nice.
And you're about the same age.
It's good. Yeah, it was a good meeting.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very
Enjoy
much.
your
It's a
stay.
pleasure.
Hope to see you soon.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Is it true you had a rock band also? You were in a rock? No, but you sing and you dance.
I do a lot of that. Yeah. I love doing concerts. It's great fun.
How's your Spanish? No
My
Spanish at all?
Is indiente.
¿Cómo?
Indiente.
Ah, indiente.
Yeah, it's in my mouth and and it's going to stay there.
No, you should try it. ¿Qué pasó con el tequila, el Jack Daniels? Algo, no hubo nada. Muy mal. And you're leaving today? Or you're staying?
I'm leaving today, yes. I go back to California for a little bit and then I head back to London to do a play. I'm going to do a play for a couple of weeks in London.
Which one?
A one-man play that Henry Fonda did in the 1970s called Clarence Darrow.
Wow.
Yeah, it's like 2 hours of direct address, essentially, talking to the audience, taking them through this man's life.
Wow.
He's a great American attorney.
You're going to do it for how long?
2 weeks.
2 weeks?
Yeah.
London?
Sort of crazy.
Too far away.
Well, we're going to film it, I think. We're going to film it.
Oh, you are?
Yeah.
Great.
Yeah, we're going to film it, which is good news. Am I moving? Yes.
Thank you so much.
It's a pleasure.
Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Bye-bye. Take
Ciao.
care.
Thank
Ciao.
you. Thank you.
Mr. President.
All right, where am I?
Thank you.